Welcome back to another episode. Our first, I guess we had one in the off season, but all
Yes.
rolling good with my great friend, former Wolverine Richard Ralford, myself, Tom Crawford, following Michigan's impressive, to say the least, trouncing of the Oakland Grizzlies. Had over 120 points. What was the final score? Like 121 to 78.
78,
Good
yep.
Lord. It was so great to see you there at the KB, the Kevin Byer box, Kayla and you, and we had some others, and it was so much fun. And we're both excited. We both know, Rich, yeah, it's Oakland from the Horizon League. Yeah, Greg Campy's a good coach, but doesn't have the personnel. But I don't care how you slice it. What you saw in front of you with 7 guys in double digits, you had to be impressed.
Listen, I was really impressed. I was impressed because not only do we have a big team, we have a pretty athletic team.
Yeah.
One of the things that I was telling a friend about this morning, Tom, remember when the big kid, the 7'2" kid, blocked the shot just standing straight up, never jumped, never did it, it was a block shot? I thought that was hilarious. And I'm going to tell you, I was impressed. And I'm impressed with Trey McKenna. Being a fellow McDonald All-American guy,
Yeah.
I was really excited about him, but I was more excited when I saw my guy, Will Cheddar. To see Cheddar come back, I loved it, man, because that's the heart and soul of that team.
Well, it's funny you bring that up. So in the post-game presser, and Dusty, of all the coaches I've interviewed, I mean, in a press corps situation, football and basketball over the years, including John Beeline, who is awesome. I'm telling you, Dusty is just so solicitous and patient, and he's so genuine and generous with the information he provides, and he takes every question seriously. And he went, I don't know, Will Cheddar, that topic of Will Cheddar got brought up, and he told me, you'll appreciate this, that when he is not at practice, like for an injury or maybe he's got some, I don't know what the deal situation, it is a whole different practice. The energy level does not match when he is there. When Will Cheddar is at practice, the energy and enthusiasm is off the charts.
Okay.
It's not important to this. Now, there's other leaders on this team, and those leaders will evolve. But it starts with Will Cheddar. And
Listen,
we've talked about him for now, that's 4th year.
4th year. And he's been there, it feels like he's been there forever.
Yeah.
But we love it. But I was also impressed, Tom, with the big kid from Illinois.
Yeah. Moretz, yes.
I don't understand how you let the freshman of the year get out. How is that possible? That you don't keep
you
him?
were freshman of the year last year in the Big Ten?
Yeah, in the Big Ten.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, I got that from my boy Kevin.
He knows his stuff, baby.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. So,
Yeah.
but I'm excited for the season.
Well, here's what I thought about you the other day when thinking about this team is, and that this got doubled down last night, is you used to always say, hey, you can't teach size. I mean, you want big dudes.
That's right. I love them.
Big dudes. You got big dudes right now with Johnson, who last night had, what did he have? 24 points. And then the 7'5", or not 7'5", but he looks 7'5". He's 7'3".
He still does.
Ajay Mara, the kid out that transferred from UCLA, he had 12 points, 12 boards. He had 12 and 12. And then Yaxel Lindenborg, he had 12 points, 4 boards. He only took 4 shots.
4 shots. Yes, I saw that.
Free throws. Good Lord. When you have those 3 on the front line together, Rick, I'm thinking those other 17 teams in the Big Ten are saying, good Lord, look out.
Listen,
That's tough to deal with.
We always talk about size,
Yeah.
And I think size is always the difference because you're going to always have different matchups in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm.
I talked about the big kid, the 7'2" kid. Yeah, against these non-conference games, he's going to be great. When you get in the Big Ten, we should be better because we have him,
Mm-hmm.
because we have a rim protector. When you have a rim protector, like we saw last night, it makes your job easy. I was telling somebody that with Barnett, his defensive man, his offensive man beat him, but as soon as he got to the hole, big fella blocked it.
That was a difference. See, and all due respect to Danny Wolf and Vlad Golden, they
Yes,
were not rim protectors.
no,
And quite
no,
frankly, they didn't have a lick of physicality. And maybe that's being
no.
mean, but they weren't physical players. Let's just say that.
Right, right. Wait, put it
Not
this way.
like,
I always say, not like last night. It wasn't as physical team
yeah,
as we had last night
yeah, yeah,
because we banged last night. We got a couple guys now. I always believe that look like they can play on the football team.
yeah, yeah.
That's what I like. You get the guys that look like that because in the Big Ten,
Morez Johnson is one of those. I mean,
yes, yes,
when you look at number 21, for people going on
yes.
transfer, check out 21. That cat's got some broad ass shoulders, man. I mean, it's like they're out there. It's almost doesn't look real. I mean, he's a big dude. How'd you like to try? He's boxing you out. How you going to get around him?
How you gonna get around? Well, when I walked downstairs and on our way out last night, I got a chance to some of the guys to walk by me, and the big kid, number 21,
Yeah,
looked like he could play tight end for defensive end for anybody.
Yeah,
And so Tom, I'm excited about the season, man. I'm
yeah.
excited because we got a really good team, and from what I'm hearing about Coach May, and I want to be able to tell him, all my friends in Florida love him. They
Oh,
love Coach May
yeah,
because I grew up about 35 minutes away from his school.
yeah.
And when I talk to my friends at home, Tom, they rave about May. They're happy for him, but they're sad that he's not there anymore.
Oh, yeah. At FAU, I mean, he was a great coach. I'll say
Yes.
so. Trey McKinney out of Orchard Lake St. Mary, he had 21 points last night. True freshman, people, true freshman, and in the exhibition games, kind of not. I attended one of them. I mean, obviously the one with Cincinnati, and
Mhm.
and then I did not see the one against St. John's, which they won.
Mhm.
But Dusty was thinking he's thinking too much. It matters so much to him. This kid has been wanting to play for Michigan since he was a kid. Trey
Really?
McKinney, okay? His
I heard that.
hero was Trey Burke. And I'm sure when Trey Burke gets his jersey retired, that will be a special day for Trey McKinney, too, when that
Yes.
happens later in the
Yes.
year. That will be a great moment. But I thought he played well. And Elliot Cadeau, the transfer from North Carolina,
Yes.
got a
Yes.
true point guard, 12 assists, 1 turnover. And my whole team,
That's the best part.
whole team had I think 29 turnovers and only 8 assists. Only 8 turnovers. 29 assists, 8 turnovers.
Yes.
And remember what last year's nightmare was, all those turnovers, and
All those turnovers we had.
that's cool. So, and I asked Dusty in the post game about who is the backup point guard, because Trey is really more of a hybrid. He can play point, as does Roddy Gale Jr., but they're not legitimate core competency point guards like
Yes.
Elliot Cadeau.
Yes. I agree. I agree.
But Dusty remarked, and I have this on my YouTube channel, that it basically they're going to do different versions of actually not using a point guard if they have to. Just have ball handlers. I'm sure you played on teams like that.
Oh yeah. Makes you bigger.
When Gary Grant got foul trouble, who took over guard?
Guard Thompson.
Yeah. So, but he was not. He was more of a.
He wasn't a point guard, right? He wasn't a point guard.
So it's hard to get 2 true point guards on a team. It seems like.
Yes, it is. But because point guards, they want to play, and so you're not trying. You're not going to get two superstars as point guards because one's not going to stay. One's
Yeah.
going to want to go somewhere and he wants to
Yeah.
play.
It's like a quarterback or a kicker.
Exactly. Exactly. And so when in an era of NIL money,
Yeah.
these kids don't stay around long. And
That's
see
a
now,
great point. And I never thought about that because I was saying like a couple of months ago, like, how did Dusty get himself in this mess where he doesn't have a backup point guard? Well, he's got a plan. And he did not seem at all, including Elliot Cadeau can play point.
yes, Casey can play point.
He was hurt. I mean, he's all right. He'll be back.
Okay.
As Winters Grady from California, that this guy's like Duncan Robinson 2.0. I'm probably going
Really?
overboard, but we got a shooter. We got shooters on this team.
Okay.
Trey McKinney is a shooter on this team. And
Okay.
Will Cheddar is a shooter on this team. You got shooters. And they had 19 threes last night. That didn't happen.
That didn't happen last year, Tom. That did not happen last year.
Yeah.
And I sit and watch Cheddar hit his threes, and every time he shot it, I felt like he was going in.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing.
I want to ask you, as a former player, that first game, regular season game. I can't remember who you played in some of those, but you're probably playing the lesser opponent, right? As a warm-up game, right?
Yes.
How did you take that level and then ramp it up when Big Ten play? Is it just a slow but sure build-up, or what's the process like?
Well, it's a build-up. It's a slow build-up because that's what you really want to do. What we did was trying to find our chemistry. That's why you play schools like Oakland and Cincinnati, because you want to find your chemistry and in situations like the last 3 minutes, you want to find out what players that you're going to play in those last 3 minutes in each quarter, the end of halves, and the end of games. And I have no problem with those games when you play schools like that. Sometimes you just got to be ready, Tom, because they'll get you if you're not ready. Those schools, like I told you, we struggled when I was there against U of D, and U of D had a hell of a team, and I think we didn't beat them by many, but we knew we was in a game. And so it helps you bring in that chemistry and the camaraderie with the players that you have on your team. So it's a good thing, playing schools like that.
Well, that's their Super Bowl for UT. I mean,
right.
Those kids probably resent the fact they weren't recruited by Michigan. And so this is their opportunity to get back at them a little bit. In that
it is. And you know what? Last night, I was going back and forth with a young lady, one of my McDonald All-American friend's daughter. She plays at Oakland. She's on the women's team.
Okay.
And so we kept going back and forth, and she kept asking me to send pictures. And she said to me, I think you guys are too big for us. And I said to her, well, that's what we need to be. We need to be bigger than a lot of teams because we have athletes. If we're bigger and we got athletes, it's going to be tough to beat us.
Yeah. I mean, and we're going to find out. Michigan is off until a week from tonight. They played at Little Caesars Palace in Detroit against Wake Forest.
Oh, okay. That should be good.
Wake Forest this is not a vintage Wake Forest team, but they're in the ACC, so they're going to be tough. So
they're going to be tough.
I think they're kind of middle of pack ACC. And
then
they go to TCU on the road. Now, TCU is, it's one of those from the Big 12. I mean, you got to be ready for them. And then Villanova eventually comes to Ann Arbor in early December. And Villanova is Villanova. That's a big
Villanova.
And actually, before that, Dusty said they play Middle Tennessee State 2 weeks from tomorrow night. And they're typically a scrappy team.
Yes.
So, I mean, you got to be ready Michigan State played Colgate last night. And I'm not talking the toothpaste. They're playing the and they struggled. They were only up by 3 at halftime, and they won by 11. Yeah, and the score was a little deceiving. So, yeah.
Against Colgate.
Yeah, but Michigan State typically does that. Izzo teams, they really start slow, and then they get their grit going later in the year, and then they're tough out. But they don't have the talent, the sheer raw talent.
Really,
Michigan has. I mean, Michigan.
Well, I tell you,
Watch
Me
out.
and Kevin talked a little bit about Izzo because I told him I like Izzo. Kevin says he's a Michigan State guy. I don't like
Well, actually,
him.
University of Michigan basketball's already had the kiss of death because Joe Lenardi picked them to win the whole thing. So John
Really?
Lenardi, who does all the projections of who's in the tournament and everything. So, I mean, there's a lot of people picking Michigan, to go really high. In fact, I was texting with your former teammate Tim McCormick this morning, who
Okay.
we'll have Tim on the podcast in a
Great.
few weeks.
Great.
He's super excited, and Tim is one of those who's always guarded, right?
Yes, he is. Yes, he
You
is.
know what I mean? And,
Yes, he is.
He wasn't guarded with his enthusiasm.
Good. Listen, we love Tim, man, and I saw him on Antoine's podcast. And
I didn't know that. Okay.
yeah, but I got to tell you, the one thing about us Michigan guys, we're gonna always stick together, and we're gonna always help whoever needs to help.
Yeah.
That's why one of my favorite guests on our podcast is Sean Higgins.
Yeah.
Because Sean, when I tell you, he's always enthusiastic. He's always excited. And I love that about Sean.
He loves the block.
Yes. Yes, he does. And so that's what I like about him. I'm trying to, next time I travel, we go out to Vegas. I'm trying to get with Sean because I told him we come out there. We're gonna, I'm gonna definitely get a hold of him.
Oh yeah, we'll do it. We'll get Sean. I mean, we'll get. Well, we're gonna get Glenn Rush. Why don't you tell our listeners out there, you got an exciting gathering coming up with your 1986 Big Ten champs, right?
Well, yes, we talked about this a little bit before the show with Mark Hughes and Bullock and those guys. They're the ones that get our reunions together.
Okay.
And this is what they call the Week of Champions when it happens, and it's all the championship teams that won titles that year at Michigan.
Oh wow!
And what we do is we'll get together, mark them. All my teammates that are still around, they'll be there. And for me, it's always exciting because I get to see the guys, man. Guys that I went to battle with, guys that for 4 years, man, we spent a lot of time. I was telling somebody today, the one person that I miss more than anything is Roy.
Oh,
because
that story, way too young.
Right, and if Roy was here, I told people you would have a ball.
But you were,
I tell myself,
so
right.
I mean, you had a special friendship, and
yes,
every time you talked about Roy, it was in glowing terms. And he had some unfortunate things, direction he went.
Yeah, he fight his own demons.
Yeah, and but he was a great NBA player too. With the Mavericks.
Listen, Mark Aguirre told me one time that if Roy had stayed clean, he would have been one of the top 50 greatest NBA players of all time.
Really?
That's what Mark Aguirre told me. Right. Right. He said, you know how they had that 75? Roy would have been in that 75 too.
Wow.
Because he says, when I sat and talked to him, he says, Ritz, nobody could guard him. I told you this before. Hakeem Olajuwon, one of the greatest players of all time. Mm-hmm. He used to be afraid of Roy. Derek Harper told me, he said, Rich, they didn't want to play Roy because they thought he was crazy because he would talk smack to them. Those guys are used to nobody talking smack. Well, Roy Harper is a different kind of player. And Derek Harper told me.
Okay, so your freshman year, you started.
Right.
You did not, or actually, I take that back. His sophomore year, your sophomore year, you're playing all the time. He wasn't playing much at all initially because of Tim McCormick, right?
Right.
And then he wiggled his way in late in the year.
Well, I'm not going to say wiggle. I'm going to tell you what happened. Up until the regular season, like when we play in like schools like Oakland, Cincinnati, Roy didn't play at all. He didn't play at all. And then I think it was our second or third Big Ten game against Minnesota. And Tim got in foul trouble. And we looked down the bench and coach was like, Tarpley. And Roy goes in, Tom. And I don't know what happened. but he had like 10 points in like 3 minutes, and they were mostly dunks.
Was that up at the barn in Minneapolis?
That was in Minneapolis, right? At the it was there. And when I tell you, he killed them. And Coach
Wow.
Frieder, at the end of the game, he looked at Roy as if Roy was a ghost. He did not understand, and all Roy said was, "I just wanted a chance."
Wow.
And you see what happened when we went to the NIT in the Garden and we won it. Roy was big in that, and then look what happened the next 2 years after that,
Next
junior
year,
senior year.
it was unbelievable. I mean,
You
because I
know,
remember his freshman year, he didn't play at all.
right? He didn't play at all.
I mean,
He
he
didn't play
never
at
saw the
all.
floor. And you're out there, and Bush is out there, and
Yep,
he's not out
yep.
there.
And he was listen in practice. He used to practice hard, no matter what it took, because he just wanted to play. But
Man,
Tim
he
was
was
listen.
really skinny though as a
Yes,
freshman.
that's exactly why. Because they were pushing him around. That was one of the reasons why he didn't play as a freshman.
Yeah,
And so it was kind of funny because I'm telling you, his breakout was that Minnesota game.
really.
And I was amazed. And last night we were walking out. I talked to Steve Smith for a little bit.
Oh,
Uh,
that's right. He was on the side. I forgot about that. Yeah,
yeah, and so yeah, me and Steve
great
hollered
guy.
at each other.
Even though he's a Spartan,
He's
great
the
guy.
nicest. Listen, me and the last time we saw each other before last night was at a restaurant in Detroit called Dinetta's, and me and Steve saw each other there. After we had went out or something. We saw each other there, and we all sat around and we just had a great time. Derek Coleman was where he was there that night as well, and so listen, man, we had fun. And Tom, I tell you, I love my Michigan Wolverines, and I love those games.
Yeah. Well, Smitty was a true Detroit PSL guy.
Yes, he was.
I think Detroit Pershing. I mean, they had some tough cats from Detroit
Come
back
on,
in
man.
the day, man.
They had some tough ones, man. I'm gonna tell you. I
Yeah.
enjoy. Listen, we played in St. Cecilia. We took to let you know how good they were down there in Detroit. We took our whole first five down there to play in St. Cecilia, and yeah, we was good, but boy, it was not easy playing down there with the guy. We had our first five that won Big Ten titles. We went down there, and those guys, man, they played us like we was playing the NBA finals, and we had a great time. I tell you.
All right. Well, it's great. We're back at it, Rich.
Yes.
Richard Ralford, the former Wolverine. Great job. And we'll talk in another week or so about after the Wake Forest game. We'll connect
Yes.
again, start lining up our guests. And I
I
have a
look
feeling
forward.
we're going to really, I mean, we've enjoyed this, our fifth year, whatever.
Our fifth
This
year.
might be the most enjoyable because of the team we're talking about. It might be at
Yes.
another level.
I think so, Tom. I think so.
Yep. All right. Until next time. Thanks a lot, Rich.
Peace. Go blue, baby.
Go Blue.